Billionaire CEO pretends to be homeless. What this teen waitress does next will shock you. Watch how kindness changes everything. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with friends. So let's begin. Lily wiped down the worn wooden counter of the small Chicago diner, glancing out at the steady drizzle outside. Her apron was slightly stained from a busy morning, but she moved with practiced energy, refilling coffee cups and serving pancakes to regulars who chatted lazily. Despite the exhaustion, she never lost her cheerful demeanor. The bell above the diner door jingled sharply, and Lily turned to see a man entering, his clothes tattered and soaked from the rain. His face was lined, his hair unkempt, and his eyes carried a cautious, wary look. He approached the counter slowly, and Lily immediately offered a warm smile, gesturing to a free booth. "Hi there, sir," she said softly. "Would you like some coffee? On the house?" The man hesitated, then nodded, his gaze flicking around the diner nervously. Lily poured a steaming cup, the rich aroma filling the small space, and placed it in front of him along with a plate of eggs and toast. He looked startled by the kindness. "You don't have to do that," he muttered, his voice quiet. Lily shook her head, shrugging lightly. "Everyone deserves a warm meal," she replied, as she checked on other tables, making sure her regulars were happy. The man watched her with an expression that was somewhere between suspicion and curiosity. Lily returned to his table, wiping her hands on her apron. "So, how's your day been?" she asked casually, trying to make him feel comfortable. The man glanced at her, then at the plate of food. He sighed and muttered, "Not great. Long day. And cold." Lily nodded empathetically, placing a small container of sugar and cream on the table. Meanwhile, the diner buzzed with the soft hum of conversation, clinking cutlery, and the occasional hiss of the espresso machine. Lily moved quickly from table to table, balancing plates and drinks effortlessly. She greeted each customer by name, remembering who liked their eggs scrambled and who preferred their coffee black, displaying a skill that came from years of practice and genuine care. The man slowly took a bite of his eggs, his eyes scanning the diner. He watched as Lily handled a particularly difficult customer with patience, calming a man who had spilled his coffee with humor and grace. Something about the way she treated everyone, without judgment or fatigue, made him pause. He had never seen this level of empathy in someone so young. Lily noticed his gaze lingering and offered a small smile. "You can take your time," she said, sitting briefly across from him. "No rush." He seemed startled that she would speak to him so personally, as if he were more than just another diner patron. There was an honesty in her eyes that disarmed him. He nodded, finally speaking. You really care, don't you?" Lily laughed softly, brushing back a wet strand of hair. "I care about people, doesn't matter who they are," she said simply. He looked at her, the corners of his mouth twitching in the first hint of a smile he had shown all day. By the time he finished his meal, he felt an unusual warmth that wasn't just from the food. Lily's genuine kindness, her patience and warmth, had left a mark. For someone used to power and privilege, this simple act of humanity was both shocking and profound. He left the diner quietly, but his mind was racing, thinking about this remarkable teen waitress who had no idea who he really was. A week later, the diner's bell jingled again, but this time the man who entered looked completely different, gone with the tattered clothes and unkempt hair. In their place was a sharp, tailored suit, polished shoes, and an air of quiet authority. Lily barely recognized him as the same person she had served before. He approached the counter slowly, scanning the room with a careful eye. Lily paused mid-pour, her heart skipping a beat. "Hi, can I help you?" she asked cautiously, unsure why he had returned. The man smiled, his eyes lighting up with a warmth that made her uneasy and curious all at once. "I'm Marcus Reed," he said calmly, extending his hand. "You probably don't recognize me like this, but I'm the same person you served last week." Lily froze, her mouth slightly open. "Wait, you're the man from last time?" she whispered. Her mind raced, recalling his cautious glances and quiet demeanor. Marcus nodded. "Yes, I wanted to see who treated people with respect, not because of their wealth or status." Lily blinked, processing the revelation. The diner around them seemed to fade as the reality sank in. She had unknowingly served one of America's richest men, disguised as a homeless man. I just did my job," Lily stammered, her cheeks flushing. "I treat everyone the same." Marcus chuckled softly, shaking his head. "Most people would have ignored me or treated me poorly, but you were kind without expecting anything in return." His voice carried a sincerity that made her chest tighten. He pulled out a small envelope from his suit jacket and handed it to her. "This is for you," he said. Lily hesitated before opening it. Inside was a scholarship letter to a prestigious business school and an invitation to a mentorship program in his company. Her eyes widened, and she could hardly believe what she was seeing. I don't know what to say," she whispered, her voice trembling. "This is incredible." Marcus smiled, a mix of pride and admiration in his expression. "You earned it," he said simply. "Your integrity, your kindness. It's rare in this world. I want to give you an opportunity to shape your future, just as you've shaped this diner with your presence." The other diners, sensing something remarkable was happening, began whispering and glancing toward Lily. Some clapped softly as she stood frozen, trying to process the life-changing moment unfolding. Marcus guided her to a small table in the corner, away from the curious eyes, so they could talk privately. Over the next hour, he explained how he had been testing people's character, looking for genuine human kindness, and how her actions had stood out immediately. Lily listened, stunned, but also quietly proud. She realized that simple acts of humanity, listening, smiling, serving with respect, could ripple far beyond a diner counter. By the time Marcus left the diner that afternoon, Lily's life had already begun to change, not because of wealth, but because someone had noticed her heart. As she returned to her duties, serving customers with renewed energy, she realized that her small, consistent acts of goodness had opened doors she had never imagined. Lily glanced out the window at the fading sun, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the afternoon light.